CountryWide Connect, connecting farmers and growers to what they need to know to grow. Your daily innovative rural show with Andy Thompson and Sarah Birmingham-Lang.
We are now joined by Jo Luxton, who is the Labour spokesperson for Agriculture, Biosecurity and Customs on the line. Jo, welcome to CountryWide Connect.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Oh, you're
jealous.
Very sunny.
Yeah, look, I deliberately came down here so your viewers and listeners could see just how beautiful it is here in Tairāwhiti today, and just the pure beauty of it. And there are so many people down here at the beach today, and I just wanted to show your viewers and your listeners that this is a place worth visiting and it's a place worth investing in.
Yeah, absolutely, Jo. Hey, what is also a really nice place is Methven. That you came to recently, my backyard. It's got some snow on Mount Hutt this morning. I can tell you it doesn't look as warm as Gisborne. Tell us a little bit about this Labour Feds get-together. Lovin', as Andy refers to.
Yeah, well, firstly, I did hear there was snow on the mountains this morning. My children are all based down around Methven, so I got the weather report this morning from them. So what we've decided to do when we came into government was just the importance of building those relationships with the agricultural sector, because we all know it's fair to say that the relationship was not great when we came into government with that sector, and that's something I've worked really hard on. It's been a real priority for me, is building those relationships. So this is our third year of our Farmers Forum. And actually, I would have to say, I think it's probably been the most successful one. There was a whole lot of engagement. Chris Hipkins was there, he's been at every one, but there was a whole lot of engagement where we just sat different spokespeople around the different tables with the farmers, and we talked a lot of issues. We talked climate, we talked water, we talked RMA, and it was really great, genuine back and forth conversation. And I think it's just so well worth it. And it's not just the feds that attend, it's Dairy NZ, it's Irrigation New Zealand, it's Rural Women. There's a whole range of people that attend. And so it's something that's been really, really worthwhile and valuable for us.
Is the idea behind it, Jo, to create relationships, or is it to help you create policy? Because we still haven't seen any policy. Are we going to see some?
Yeah, so to answer the first part of your question, it's definitely about relationships. It's definitely about hearing from the farmers as to what they see is really important, what they want to see from a Labour government around policy development, policies. And look, I find it is interesting that I continue to be asked about ag policy, and I'm just wondering, Andy, you're asking the Nats what their ag policy is coming into the election?
It's a very fair call, Jo.
Yeah.
No, it's a very, very fair call, and we certainly will be asking them questions about policy.
Good.
Although last time their policy seemed to be whatever Federated Farmers wanted, but anyway, that's a whole other story.
Or throw
that's a whole other story.
Or throw out anything that Labour put in.
Yeah, that was policy.
Yeah, and we're really mindful of that. Chris Hipkins has said really openly, should we form government, that we're not going to just come in and throw out policy just for the sake of it. It's really important that we let current policy bed in. Just because a previous government put something in place doesn't mean that you should just walk in and throw it out. And actually, New Zealanders are sick and tired of that. They're sick and tired of the toing and throwing, the yo-yoing, the expense that that comes into it when you do throw policy out, particularly if you don't have something ready to go to replace it. So Kiwis are just sick and tired of it, and it's something that we're really mindful of.
Yeah.
We'll see that the test of that will be potentially with the RMA reforms. We know that that's a real major piece of work. Where is Labour? Oh, it's not your policy. I know I can't ask you on that one. We'll flag that. Yeah. But no, well, it's not fair to ask you that, because really it's not your area, is it?
No, it's not my portfolio, but I am hearing from growers that they do worry that it is going to make things more expensive for them, and there are a few concerns around the current RMA legislation, but I guess that's still yet to play out, continue to play out in Parliament until we see the final of it all.
Final, yeah.
I mean, it is interesting, Jo, just pivoting there onto the India free trade agreement that Richard just spoke about in the news, that Winston Peters is throwing back at industry groups from creating an open letter. Is it fair for the industry groups to actually get to a point of frustration they need to do so? Do you believe?
Look, I totally understand the importance of our industry being able to enter, have other opportunities in free trade agreements with other countries. But Labor's always been a party that's been really supportive of free trade agreements, and we worked really hard on those. We got a couple across the line when we were in government, thanks to Damien and the hard work that he and his team did there. But we've got to make sure that it is the best deal for New Zealand, and we do have some concerns around the current proposed agreement at this stage.
So are those concerns enough for Labor not to support it, or are you guys extracting your pound of flesh? Is it politics here?
No, it's definitely not politics, because as I said before, we've always been a party that's been really pro-trade. We just have some genuine concerns, and we still, I think it was a couple of months ago that we wrote to the current government asking for to see the advice, to see the redacted version of advice around the free trade agreement, so that we can make really informed decisions about it. And like I said, there are some concerns, and whilst we see the value and importance of free trade agreements, we are worried about a couple of clauses in there in particular, particularly the one around the $33 billion of investment that will be required from New Zealand into India, and the potential consequences if we don't meet that obligation, and that is a lot of money. And I heard Chris Atkins talk this morning about a comparison that with our free trade agreement to China, in the first 15 years we only invested $1.5 billion, and that was largely through Frontiera, which is absolutely excluded from this particular agreement. So we're really concerned about the potential consequences for our growers and producers here in New Zealand if we don't meet those obligations.
Jo, can you expand on that? Because I'm not across that, and I'm sure many of our audience aren't. What would we need to spend the money for and on?
So I haven't been privy to the whole the full information that our leader and others have had with regard to the free trade agreement, but I'm aware that that is a real concern, because my understanding is that the minister over in India, who is responsible for these trade negotiations, has publicly said over there that if we were not to meet our obligations with regard to the $33 billion of investment in 15 years, they would claw back the concessions that they've granted to New Zealand, and that has a huge impact on our producers and our growers, and that could be quite devastating.
Yeah, I think it's something, Sarah, probably we need to dig into a little bit more. Maybe we need to get our mate Todd McClay on the show and just ask him specifically about it. The other one is very much to do with the immigration settings for students. Are you still concerned that, my understanding is that they put that to bed, that it is capped? Yes, there's some family, but it's not it's only 1,000 students a year, isn't it?
Yeah, so my understanding is that it's the concern is around the work ability for international students to work that are coming in and entering in our non-graduate degree courses. And of course, whilst that enables students, international students, to come in and work, it's at a time where our unemployment is quite high, and our young people, our young people here in New Zealand are struggling to find jobs as it is. And we do worry that it does open the pathway or the doorway to migrant exploitation as well. So it's another thing that we're wanting to get information around and advice from the government as to the advice that they have received as well. So there's a whole lot of unknowns, and for us, as I said, we're trying to find a way forward, but we do require the current government to provide us with the information that we've asked for, so we can make a really informed decision, because we are pro-trade.
Yeah. Hey, Jo, thank you very much for your time. And the fact that you have children that are in this area, we'd love you to let us know when you're in Christchurch next and come in the studio.
Sure, that'd be great.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jo Luxton, the spokesperson for Agriculture, Biosecurity and Customs for Labour.
CountryWide Connect, connecting farmers and growers to what they need to know to grow. Your daily innovative rural show with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lack.